What's up? Cecil Nomad here. So, a guy whose name I cannot remember at the moment was asking me about my workflow and technique when doing IDM and breakcore-ish type stuff. So, just to give a little demonstration, I've loaded up the Amen break because it's very common in IDM and breakcore, and I'm going to stress the importance of a couple things. When you're using something like the Amen break or any drum loop that has a lot of different kinds of percussion in it, you have one snare, another snare, they all work in the same kit and they can be used together, but they sound a little different. So what I'm getting at is the capabilities for humanizing your drums are a lot more available if you're using drum loops that are very long, like the Amen break or the Think break or something like that. But also, one thing I like about the Fruity Slicer is the volume envelopes you can have right here. So you can control when exactly your sample will cut off, or if you want it to roll all the way through. And I'll just demonstrate what I mean by that. Yeah, I'll get on to other things in a minute. You can hear that all those snare hits, or most of them, are different snares, but they're actually the same snare, just different timbres, so they work together. But if I were to legato this so that all of these parts were only as long as before the next little hit thing, you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it gives it kind of a choppy feel, so that's why I like to play around with note lengths like that. And that can be a cool thing if that's what you're going for, but I am not at the moment. So yeah, I went ahead and did all the automations without you guys because they take a very long time for me to fine-tune them, and I just don't have the time to do this right off the bat. So what I have right here is an automated arpeggiation envelope. Here, in my I'm only using 3 effects and a compressor, but 3 really audible effects. Audible, I don't know. Reverb, a deep blue glitch with reverse set for all of them, and a simple delay with triplet time. So, and then just playing around with, oh, and I have pitch right here, sorry, with the envelope right there. But yeah, I wish I could do this right off the bat and do it in the middle of a tutorial, but it really does take quite some time to get all of this worked out. But I will just play this and then I will comment on a couple other things before I end this tutorial. But yeah, just throwing different things on. It's a lot of trial and error to get the sound that you're wanting. So, oh, here, I'll run it through once without all my automations so you can hear the different types of beats and things that I use. Right here I just have some simple drum loop thing. Nothing simple, but just to add those high frequencies that the Amen break kind of misses out on. And before I turn all the automations on, this right here, sorry, this, that's why I like using the Amen break or any kind of drum loop that has lots of different snare hits, is because you can do really, well, fairly realistic rolls with them. I mean, I think I have 6 different snare hits going right now, and if I were to try and turn them all off to get a typical kind of roll when you have a really short break, it's, I have one still here somewhere. Where is it? There we go. And it just doesn't have that real feel when you're using something like this. So that's why I like using long loops and stuff like that. It's much more human. But if you're going for a kind of robotish, kind of sequenced type of feel, then using all the same hit might be a little better. But yeah, now just turning on all of my automations. This isn't even a lot of automations, honestly. This is like the bare basics for what I would be acceptable with in a song of mine. But yeah, focus on this part right here, because even though it's a snare, or it's a pitch going up on that snare roll, it still sounds much more real using all those different snare hits. So yeah, that's just what I'm getting at, is utilizing different snare hits and whatnot. But yeah, that's all I really have. That's a really basic look at my workflow, and that's not even going into things like melody and harmony. That's only percussion, but that's about it. Take that, do it about 600 more times, and you might have something close to a song that I might find acceptable for myself. But yeah, that's that. Peace out. Cecil Nomad.